I played around with AI and I asked AI to outline a contemporary romance novel for me, and I have to say I am like blown away. The reason I call this the soggy middle is that I really don't know how I want the characters to get to know each other and how they're going to get along. This is just the piece where I just throw things together. Writing and parenting at the same time is tough. I want to be able to do both, but they clash at the same time. Anywho, I am blown away. As a matter of fact, I am in love. If you guys have not tried AI, you have got to give it a try. Hello lovelies! It is November, but as you can see, the Christmas tree is up. I recently went to Michael's to buy a tree for the apartment and my kids really wanted it up, so it's been up since. And the reason I even bought a tree was because I did not want to head back to the house where my ex-husband still lives. The first two times that I was there, he accused me of stealing food from the fridge. Not that I want leftover takeout, so I just decided I might as well just buy a tree for the apartment, have my own tree, then have to go back to the house, grab a tree, be accused of doing something I didn't do, and then, well, live with that. So please don't mind the Christmas tree. I love Christmas. It's actually my birthday. I wish it were Christmas year-round, and I know that my daughter would agree as well. Anywho, November means the start of a 30-day writing challenge. In the past, this would be known as NaNoWriMo or National Novel Writing Month, but the organization that's also known as NaNoWriMo has been getting some backlash for things that they have said about writing, and I believe a lot of writers have just steered away from supporting said organization and possibly said writing challenge. But I'm not here to talk about them. I'm here for the writing challenge itself because I want to participate. In the past, I have never been able to participate because I would already be either working on something or not writing at all. So this will actually be my first time participating, and I actually want to see how far I can get. This year, I had many story ideas, and I was actually going back and forth between what I wanted to focus on and write about. Originally, I wanted to write the next book in my Pride and Prejudice variation series, but at the same time, I also wanted to start my next YA novel, and I wanted to write my next contemporary romance novel. So I did the one thing that NaNoWriMo is probably not too proud of, and I mean the organization. I asked AI to help me. I played around with AI and I asked AI to outline a contemporary romance novel for me, and I have to say I am like blown away because what normally takes me like days to weeks to months to even just outline, AI did it in like several seconds. It included the A and B characters, the inciting incident, the fun and games, all of that stuff that makes up a romance novel, the elements of a romance novel. And if you have no clue what I'm talking about, I do have a video on the elements of a romance novel that I will link down below for you guys to watch. Anywho, I am blown away. As a matter of fact, I am in love. If you guys have not tried AI, you have got to give it a try. I actually took the outline and tweaked it to my liking, and I'm using that outline for my 30-day writing challenge. So let's talk about how this writing has gone. Before I talk about my progress, let's talk about what this 30-day writing challenge is, or what is known as National Novel Writing Month. The whole point of this writing challenge is to get writers to complete a novel of 50,000 words in 30 days or less. If you're into numbers, that's about 1,667 words a day. I wanted to see if I could hit these numbers, so I started writing on exactly November 1st and then kept track of my progress. On the 1st of November, which was a Friday, I wrote the prologue and first chapter, which gave me about 1,344 words. On the 2nd, I started the second chapter and wrote 1,146 words. And on the 3rd, I was actually unable to write because I forgot to preface that I had my kids for the week and they did not allow me to write. I thought I could get some writing done, especially while they were napping, but both of my kids actually napped for just an hour, and on one of the days that actually only gave me time to reread what I had written prior, just to get me back in the motion and to write my chapter outlines. So no progress there. On the 4th, I was able to write, and I wrote 1,390 words here and there, give and take, which was a part of my morning and during my work breaks. And then on the 5th, again, I couldn't write because my kids would not cooperate. I was hoping to fit in some writing time before bedtime, but that didn't happen. We ended up just doing some reading, and reading made me really tired, and then we just went to bed. On the 6th, my kids and I went out for dinner, so again, didn't have time to write either. And then on the 7th, I wrote 1,699 words. I also watched a so-so Hallmark film that day to try to gain some inspiration, and sadly, I got nothing. And then on the 8th and the 9th, again, no writing. As you can see, I am not hitting the word count, and that is okay because I am actually not a word count type of person. I am, however, very, very proud of the progress because I have the introduction out of the way, and now it's just really focusing on my A and B characters and allowing them to get to know one another. For the second week, my kids are actually with their dad, so that should leave me open weeknights to get in some writing time after work, and hopefully I have the energy to do so because my plan is to put in a few more chapters and allow my characters to get to know each other. This is the fun and games piece, or what I also like to call the soggy middle. This is where the characters obviously get to know each other, they have fun in the process, or maybe not depending on the trope, but in my story, I want them to get along, I want them to like each other, or shall I say, subconsciously learn to like each other. The reason I call this the soggy middle is that I really don't know how I want the characters to get to know each other and how they're going to get along. This is just the piece where I just throw things together and it just gets absorbed until I go back and revise and take things out or rewrite it all over again. Hence it's called the soggy middle. Personally, I prefer writing the climax and the resolution. I find those pieces to be a lot more interesting and fun to write. However, I have to get through the soggy middle in order to get to the fun bits in writing. Before I conclude this video, I also want to add that this writing project has been a lot harder than I expected it to be. For one, it's hard to write with kids around, and then a second piece to it all is that it's also hard to write without my children. Right now, as I'm filming, the kids are with their dad, so this leaves me space to write, obviously, and start my second week and to do some filming. But I honestly miss my kids and my apartment is so empty. This means that I can't body double. As a neurodivergent writer, I actually depend on body doubling. This is pretty much how I got done with my studies and my homework back in college. I used the study spaces in order to do so. And with my writing, especially when I started writing, I was depending on my ex-husband and my children, and now I don't have either of those in this space, and it's tough. To sum it up, writing and parenting at the same time is tough. I want to be able to do both, but they clash at the same time. For instance, I want to write in the presence of my children, but at the same time, I don't want to take my attention off of my children because I know that attention means a lot to children. If kids are around inattentive parents or, non-present parents, then children believe that they are not important and they internalize this for the rest of their lives. And I never want my children to feel that way, because that was my childhood and that was my ex-husband's childhood. I don't have a relationship with my parents, and personally I don't plan on seeing them for the holidays. And with my ex-husband, he pretty much just internalized everything, and it just became this pent-up anger that he would then dish out on other people. Hence our marriage fell apart. And I never want my children to get to that point. So writing and parenting has been very hard. If anyone has any ideas on how to make it easier, please comment below. I could use some support. Conclusion. So far, in the 9 days that I am accounting for week 1 of writing, I have written roughly 5,579 words. That's nowhere near the 1,667 words a day, but I am liking the progress I have thus far. I admit my writing is pretty slow because I'm trying to get through the hurdle of the soggy middle, but that's my plan for the second week, is to get through it all and hopefully get to the climax and the ending of my story. I won't have my kids for the second week, so hopefully I can squeeze in some writing time, even if it means doing so in a too quiet of an apartment. I'll see you guys next week as I continue with my progress. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out, and I will see you guys then. Therefore, take care and have fun reading and writing. Bye!